sold for $3,000. Hi everybody. Who doesn't like a teapot? Remember that song, I'm a little teapot, short and stout, tip me over and pour me out. Okay, I can't sing very good. Remember that? Did anybody sing that as a kid? Well, today I'm going to talk about teapots, and I'm going to talk about teapots that are easy to find for everyone and everywhere. Well, just about everywhere. Things that you can find that are close to your home or in your community, things that are really easy to find. But I'm going to admit some of these, I'm going to leave some of these out, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to show you what you can find and possibly where you can find them. And I'm going to talk about teapots today that are worth big money. So I have left out teapots that are in languages that I cannot read, so they have to be in English. Like handwriting that is a lot different than the American handwriting. Some of the stuff I can pick up, like the Dutch, and some of the other things I've been picking up lately too, just being around in the community, which I am so grateful for all of my friends. Whether you're Americans or abroad, I appreciate you being friends with me and watching my channel. I really, really am so happy for all of my friends that I've made here on YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to talk about teapots that you can find like anywhere. Oh, look at what happens when I do this. I open my eyes really big. Woo! Okay, let's dive in and see what there is. So I'm also omitting those designer pieces that are probably only found like in specific regions or not many around, okay? So I'm going to show you what you can find at your local garage sale, at your local church events, and at your local auctions, or sometimes online auctions, although I probably wouldn't do that unless you're picking it up locally because these things can break. And also they are heavy, right? They are heavy. Now teapots are often found in sets, okay? So most of the time you're gonna find these in sets. You could sell them in a set or you can sell them separately. Sets are definitely worth quite a bit, but you'd be surprised how much these teapots can be worth. Okay, and up first is this Copenhagen piece. I actually have some Copenhagen ready to list. I have it all cleaned up, waiting on my shelf. I just have to do it, you know. I have a shelf in my selling room and it's behind the door, and that is all stuff to list. And I do have some of this brand to get listed, so this is telling me I need to do it. This sold for $3,000. I need to get that listed. Okay, now certain brands, certain patterns are obviously more desirable than others, right? And here is this Royal Copenhagen Flora Danica teapot with the lid. Oh, and they're saying the MSRP is $14,000. Well, is that for real? I don't know, but I can tell you this did sell for $3,000. And here is another brand that I always look for to pick up. So usually, if you could get them for like 10 and under, you're probably doing pretty good. I am super cheap though. I don't like to spend a lot on any of my inventory. So I know that I did buy some of these pieces recently. This sold for $26.95 and $20 shipping. And here's this Roseville Della Raba 1906 pottery art, carved owl and rooster ceramic. Now, just to make you be aware, and I was just talking about this earlier today with someone, that the early 1900s Victorian era had a remake, a huge remake, like a revival in the 70s, and all of that like Western wear and that 1900, 1890s era came back in style. So they kind of revamped it, and sometimes you really have to look for the age, the quality, or sometimes like the metals that they're using to tell you what date this really came from. So just be aware that this might be 1906 pottery, but this could also be a remake. Well, here's one you're sure to find in Granny's china cabinet, and here is a rare antique Meissen small teapot floral design. And they're saying it's from the 1700s. Now, I haven't looked up the time periods. I sometimes will put time periods in my descriptions, but usually not unless I absolutely know. So if you do not absolutely know what this time frame was of when this thing was made, I would never do that. Just don't do it. Here's a really pretty teapot. You know, this thing actually reminds me of like the early 1900s actually. That color was very much in style, early 1900s into 1920s. That color, that green, kind of minty green, you know, like those great Andes candies, that was very much in style. People were painting everything that color, kind of like this. I'm a vintage grandma lover. I don't know what to say. I am so much a grandma, it's not funny. My house definitely looks like grandma lives here, but I love it. So this is like the color kind of like this. You see here, that really cool teal color. I love it. And after seeing it in my great grandmother's house, and yes, the house was still original, like when she lived there. Can you believe that? I was amazed. So thankful I could go through that. But those colors were really in style, like the walls, the carpet, the floors had some kind of floral pattern or painted these colors, even the cabinets and the stove, like those old-fashioned stoves. So this is kind of telling me it's probably early 1900 and not 1700s, but I'm no expert at dates. So just saying, this one sold for quite a bit of money. $13.58 and $82 shipping is nothing to be shameful of. And I've learned by just shipping something fragile recently that I do need to charge more in shipping pieces like this. Maybe not $82, but I went to ship something the other day to California and it was $120 some. I had to really rack my brain to figure out how in the world to ship that a little bit cheaper than that. $17.78 plus shipping. And this was a rare shaped Royal Copenhagen blue fluted lace teapot. Super, super cute. These are really cute. And you know, that blue and white pattern has never really gone out of style. It's just an elegant color pattern. And you know, the royals wore blue a lot. So I think that blue color has definitely never left in style. I know one of my favorite colors is blue. Can't you tell? So that blue is a very desirable color. Keep your eye out for that one. And this is another Meissen that sold for $12.85. And I'll show you what this looks like. Definitely keep your eye out for those pieces that look like cottagecore. Cottagecore is very much in style. It's kind of like that French country decor. It's very much in style, and this one sold for quite a bit of money. And I think I might even have one of these or one of the plates or something for my great grandmother. And this is a Meissen Pink Rose porcelain teapot. That's all they put on there, and it sold for quite a bit. You know, if you have the option to buy the matching cream and sugar, I would. I've been finding like the creams and the sugars with no teapots lately. And the vendors are saying people are buying the teapots, but not the cream and sugar. But if you're someone like me that just, if you're gonna use something, you kind of want like the matching pieces. It's almost like having the teapot without the lid. I mean, you kind of want the cream and sugar and make it a set of 3, right? Because a set of 3, a set of anything is always more desirable than just that one piece. And here's something I find, this is a name brand I find everywhere. Even my mother had this in her china cabinet. And here's a Norditek Foxborough cobalt and gold encrusted teapot with hand-painted birds. This is definitely like cottage decor. It's very, very elegant. You probably have to have that person that likes that specific thing. But hey, this sold for a lot of money. And this is one of those name brands a lot of times that were made with like a fine bone china. And it's just got, it's very white and crisp looking when you see it. So if you see something, a lot of times you can tell too that these pieces just look very well quality made. And the whiter the white, the better on porcelain, because that's usually like a finer grade material, especially if it's a bone china. And this sold for $16.75. So for $1,130, this sold plus shipping, and they tack quite a bit of shipping onto this one. And here is a rare Royal Albert Signorina bone china teapot. See where this bone china is going to? It's a really, really crisp white. You know, not like the white on my walls. It's definitely, like, you can tell, has a real, like, elegant look to it. And it's usually more expensive. You know, it's not like a ceramic that people would just buy at like a Kmart or something, right? It's something that was bought at a really nice store originally, or passed down through the family. You never know. Or sometimes the stuff was even shipped from overseas when people would move here to America. So this is a really nice piece. I do see Royal Albert quite a bit. This is pretty though. I like this one. This has got the black lace and the rose on it. I mean, I wouldn't pay that much because I'm too cheap, but I really like it. If I found it cheap, I'd buy it for sure. For myself even. I love this one. This is like one of my favorites. And if you can hear my kids, it is summertime and they're all home. And for $1,199.99, and also $75 plus shipping, is a teapot. And I have to say, I might have one of these hiding in my basement, and I don't want to sell it. It's in my listing area. It's been there for a couple years for my enjoyment only. Passed down from 11 generations. This is so old. And I have like their books and their notes to each other, and I have their little collection stashed away. I have a couple little things I just couldn't get rid of, and this is one of them. But now that I see this price, it's gonna be going up. And here's an antique 1881 Royal Worcester James Hadley Oscar Wilde aesthetic teapot as is. So it's not perfect, and you know what? From 1881, it's probably not going to be perfect, right? I mean, probably not, unless somebody really kept this just for like Sunday gatherings or Christmas time. Mine is very similar, but it is very old. I don't know how old mine is, but it's very similar, same colors and everything. Oh, I might just have to list it. Okay, and here for $850. Now, I love this name brand, I have to say, especially their Christmas pattern. And here is a Spode Lancaster Cobalt Blue teapot lid and the lid. It's always important to make sure that you got the lid. Sometimes the lids are sitting over like on the table or kind of in the same room as they took out like the china cabinet or some kind of special cabinet they had, usually a china cabinet. So, you know, sometimes they get separated if especially the family isn't putting stuff out. Just kind of look around. Usually you could find the lid somewhere, but the lids do get broken sometimes. And if you have just the lid, hey, sell the lid. You know, you never know. I buy replacements all the time. Somebody in my house is always breaking something, and I'm always replacing something. Or something breaks, just breaks. Nobody did it. It's like the local ghost, okay? And you can replace it. So definitely take a look. Definitely take a look for the lids. Don't leave those lids behind. Okay, now some people ask me, how do I sell it? Buy it now or auction? I have to like buy it now. I put a price that I want for it, or I usually go around what has sold and put offers on it. Now for me, that's the best way, okay? Because you have watchers on those, and that buy it now on eBay keeps relisting itself every month. So all those watchers stay watching, and if you have a sale, it's like, hello, there's a sale, buy me. And there's an offer option. So to me, that's the best way. eBay does have free auctions that you can use, and you know, you can use that too. However, a starting price, I would definitely not go ever below what you want for it. unless you just want to get rid of it, which sometimes, I'll do that price rise, but don't list it for below what you don't want, because usually people will just bid one time and be done. You have to have that specific person at that specific time looking at that item. I know I will look for something for a while and then just put it to the back burner, sometimes for years, and then I'll come back and look again. So for me, it's buy it now, set it at the price of the recent solds with an offer, and run sales on it. Why not? Why not make it fun for everybody? And if you hear the birds chirping in the background, that's to keep my dog a little bit more relaxed. I have a corgi, what can I say? Okay, and for $650, here's another name brand I can always find. And here is an UNESCO 1993 teapot. Holiday music box. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Okay, so this is a teapot music box. And I put this one in here because it looks like a teapot. And it would probably even be in like the teapot section, right? Because it looks like a teapot. So I just put this one in there. But UNESCO is another really great brand to look out for, whether it's little statues or little plates sometime. But the little kitschy, cute kitchen statues sell pretty well. And also their bigger pieces like this teapot. My battery's disappearing. Ah! Okay, and for $650 and $39 shipping is this Wedgwood Madeline teapot signed by the Sarah Duchess of York? What? Made in England rare. Okay, well now that one's super rare. But even so, I've seen these sell for quite a bit of money. I didn't even know that said that on it, but that is actually signed. That is so cool. Wedgwood is a great piece. They make really nice things. They always sell for pretty good money. I always pick up Wedgwood when I can, and I have a whole set of those. Okay, and for $618 and $89 shipping, I want to show you another Wedgwood that anybody can find. It doesn't have to be signed by the Duchess of York. Here is a 1870 to 90, again, without looking up specific dates. I never put them in there unless I know what they are. Tricolor Wedgwood, Jasper teapot, white and sage green and lilac. And certain colors with Wedgwood are also more desirable than other colors because they made less of those colors. So definitely different colors sell for different prices. Very beautiful. It's so elegant. Wedgwood is so elegant. It's beautiful. $615 plus a shipping. Here is a lovely small Dresden porcelain teapot, hand painted, Roca style, and this is 1 to 2 cups. So it's a small one. You could probably consider this like a little miniature, and miniatures do sell well. I collect miniatures myself, and they can sell for quite a bit of money. Okay, and I want to show you another spode, because spode is one of those items that you could probably find just about anywhere. And here's a spode Copeland Mayflower teapot with a lid. Very elegant. You know, they're elegant. They're not like too much in your face. They're not usually overly decorated with ornate style. They're just nice. They're just nice for nice. I do have something on my wish list, and it's from Mackenzie's Child. No, they are kind of expensive. That's why I haven't bought one for myself, but I really, really want one. They have a really pretty teapot, like a tea kettle that makes a noise on the stove. And it's got like flowers on it, and they have a blue one with a pretty blue crystal on top. Will I ever get it? Probably not, but I can dream, okay? And here is a Mackenzie's Child. This sold for $550 plus $25 shipping. And I say $25 shipping is probably a pretty good price for shipping these things. And I just want to show you too how to ship these, but let's get back to the Mackenzie's Child first. They're just cute. I have to say, they're always like very unique, artistic. I think they were made by art lovers, if I can remember right. Here's a Mackenzie's Child Chelsea Luster teapot, new retired. And Chelsea is my sister-in-law's name, so it must be pretty special. And it's got a cute little Looks like a bird or something on the top. Really, really adorable. They're just cute. They're like whimsical. I love these. I don't know why I like these so much. I usually don't fall in love with styles so much, but I don't know why. I just really like them. I just need to break down and buy the teapot I would like. It's got a cool whistle. Who doesn't need that? This sold for quite a bit of money. Usually on the market, I see these for like around $200. I think that's how much they are in the store. Vintage ones, of course, are gonna be worth more because you can't go to the store and buy them. So they become worth more. If you have one, make sure you take really good care of it. These things though were kind of mass produced, not only with, like they were produced for their own company, but I think they sell them on QVC too. So you could always look there for prices just to see what similar is being sold for new. If, that's just another option to look in different avenues and different areas other than eBay and see what has sold. And if I don't know something, I will usually look stuff up a little bit, not only with eBay, but other places too. Okay, so now I just want to talk about shipping. You're gonna want to double box these for sure. So I would say this is a teapot, okay? I would take this little teapot, I would wrap it really good with some white tissue paper and then a bunch of bubble wrap. And you want to make sure your bubbles are going on the outside, and that will protect your teapot, okay? You want to lay it down nicely in a good bed of padding and then place it in a box. Make sure that teapot isn't moving very much. You don't want the teapot to be doing this. Ouch! Inside the box. See, if I can hurt my finger, you could hurt your teapot. And then you want to place that box in another box. I always double box. Always double box your teapots or your china or something similar to a double box. It could be a Franken box or something at least wrapped in cardboard, but you definitely want to double pad these things. Don't let your little teapot break. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And I chose things where I could find any of these items out in the wild. So I think you can too. If I can live around cow pies and cow corn, you can find these too. I will mainly find these at local auctions, live auctions, and thrift stores. You can also find these on Facebook Marketplace. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed. Have an awesome summer day. Take care, everybody. Bye.